Fluffy.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yes, welcome to your divine agenda. That's our topic for today. So last Sunday, I asked you to take a little assessment to see where you are with fully experiencing a pathway of God's plenty, a journey of the joy living from Spirit's purpose as you, and a course of conscious creation. Everybody who was here remember that from last week? Yeah? Okay. Well, just in case you don't remember, and just so that we can all be on the same page this month, let's do that assessment again. We'll just do a quick review. All right. So, is the pathway of your life one of struggle? And that would be a 1. And then anywhere in between 1 and 5. And number 5 would be an ongoing experience of God's plentiful universe. So just kind of keep that number in mind as you're looking at that. All right. Okay. And then the next one is your journey through life unsatisfying, number 1. Filled with joy and meaning as you live from Spirit's purpose, all the way up to number 5. And the third one was, do you feel like you are on a course to nowhere? That would be number 1. Or working in harmony with divine law to consciously create every step of the way. So those are the 3 that we did last week. And now remember that this self-assessment is not a tool to instill any kind of guilt or bad feelings about ourselves, because we do not do that here. This is just a tool to help us take an honest look at where we are. And so it's free from any guilt or shame or personal pressure. Okay. So our intention this month is to move at least 1 notch up on that scale, the scales that we just looked at, so that we can more fully experience the pathway to God's plenty, the journey of joy living from Spirit's purpose as you, and a course of conscious creation. And as I said last week, our time together this month has been inspired by 2 books. One of them is May McCarthy's The Path to Wealth, 7 Spiritual Steps for Financial Abundance, and Wallace Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich, which is right there. And despite the titles of these books, or even their focus, our time together each week is not focused just on financial wealth. It includes that. Financial wealth is part of the package, but that's not all of it. This month, it's about creating a life that we love living. A life that we love living. A life in harmony with our divine nature and on purpose. And a life a life lived by design and not by default. That's one that I love that phrase. I heard it from another minister. I thought, I'm not going to live my life by default. I'm going to live it by design. It's probably all those HGTV shows I watch, the design shows. Kind of gets me in there. Right. So last week we established the need to create a working partnership, a true ongoing relationship with our CSO, which stands for
Chief Spiritual Officer.
Good. That's awesome. Chief Spiritual Officer. All right. So remember, our CSO is not separate and apart from us. It lives at our core. But yes, it is greater than we are. And we talked about not just having this relationship with our CSO when things are going wrong, because I know I get into that pattern often. When things aren't going well, that's when it's like, oh yeah, I got somebody else I can tap into here. But to cultivate it, to nurture it, and to be in it at all times. In your partnership with your CSO, you have just 4 things to do. Just 4 things to do. So, what's the first one? Anybody remember what the first one is? It's decide what you want. Decide what you want. That's number 1. And that can be the hardest one. I can't tell you how many kids, especially teenagers, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. How many of us, where would you like to go out to dinner? I don't know. I know. I mean, really, even the simple things. And if we can't make up our minds on the simple things, how hard is it to know what it is we want? Decide what you want. This may take a little bit of time to get clear on what it is we truly want. But once we make that decision, then number 2 is to consciously stay in alignment with what you want. Don't get distracted. Squirrel, don't do that. Stay in alignment with what you want. Number 3, be grateful in advance for it. Okay? So that sounds a lot like our teaching, right? With our affirmative prayer. It's like we give thanks because it's already done in the mind of God. So we give thanks in advance for it. And then number 4, act on whatever guidance you get along the way. And believe me, the moment you commit, the universe conspires to support you and bring you the opportunities. And it happens, and it happens, and it happens. So your charge this past week was to begin doing all of this and to let your CSO do its job. And what is the CSO's job?
All the rest.
Everything else. Everything else. And everything else looks like creating or clearing the path, bringing you the opportunities, resources, people to support the good that you've defined, and this one is really important, providing you with the guidance of your next steps, one step at a time. Now that you've established a relationship with your CSO, it's time to start having daily meetings, which support our 4 things, which are what, once again? What's number 1?
Decide what you want.
Decide what you want. Number 2, consciously stay in alignment with what you want. Number 3, be grateful in advance for it. And number 4, act on whatever guidance you get along the way. So can you tell that I really, really want you to get this? I really do. That's why I'm repeating it, because if you can remember these 4 things, you are well on your way. May McCarthy suggests that we make a commitment to having this meeting for 30 days. 30 days, a meeting with your CSO every morning, just see what happens. And I'm offering you a challenge, a 30-day challenge. Today we're going to look at the agenda for this meeting, and I promise that everyone would receive a tool to support them in setting this agenda. And I will pass it around, and we will expand on what it says this morning. So, I do have your agendas to pass around. Joy's going to help me with that. Thank you. So, I'll wait till everyone gets a copy. Now, this isn't like one of those assignments at school that you get where it's like, yeah, I just have to do this just to pass the class. Oh no. This is something that is, if you actually do this, is going to change your life. So agenda item number 1, daily inspirational reading. Who's heard of Bob Proctor?
Oh gosh.
Yes, okay. He's definitely a guy who experiences a pathway to God's planning, a journey of joy and purpose, and of course, a course of conscious creation. He says that we should read, dissect, and study this book, The Science of Getting Rich, and then read, dissect, and study it some more. Specifically, he believes everyone should read 4 particular chapters, 4, 7, 11, and 14 for 90 days in a row. And if we skip a day, we should start all over. I know John Randolph Price does that too with the 40 days of abundance. You skip one day of meditating for 15 minutes, and boy, you start all over again. Yep. And I'm not going to suggest that, but in line, only slightly differently, with the suggestion from McCarthy's book, I recommend a 30-day reading schedule from The Science of Getting Rich. And who has this book at home?
You know, this, I believe you can download that for free.
You can, but we
Yes,
have copies
it is
here, so if anybody
downloadable.
needs a copy,
Yeah.
we have copies here.
Oh, awesome.
Okay? All right.
Or you can try to download one.
But be sure everybody gets one. Oh, you guys are the same. Thank you.
Are you guys going to share?
Well, I mean, you share
Okay, awesome. Okay.
one household.
And your daily meeting with your CSO will begin with that. And right in chapter 1, Waddles does a beautiful job of examining why we actually should desire to be rich. I want us to get in touch with that for a moment. And you don't have to answer this question aloud, but anybody have a little feeling of being uncomfortable with me using the word rich? No? Okay, we're all evolved feeling. Okay. All right. Well, this is good. But chapter 1 really does talk a little bit about this,
Does that mean rich with money or rich in life, or
all of it. All of it. You know, I think there's still some leftover for in the fundamental world that rich isn't godly. You know, there's still some of that belief out there. So I think we dissipated that a long time ago. We got over that hump, so not a problem. But as a little preview, Waddles writes, every person naturally wants to become all that they are capable of becoming. This desire to realize innate possibilities is inherent in human nature. We cannot help wanting to be all that we can be. Success in life is becoming what you want to be, and you can render to God and humanity no greater service than to make the most of yourself. Wow, be the gift you came here to be. He then shares how important it is to have access to enough abundance so that we can do just that. I love the idea that money is just a symbol for that which allows us to go where we want to go and do what we want to do and be who we want to be. This is like sounding like a 60s song here. And give what we want to give. It's just a symbol. It's just a way, it's just a tool. If we think of money as just a tool and not something that is beyond us, right? So our daily meeting, which will begin tomorrow, if you choose to do this powerful 30-day practice, is to read from the Science of Getting Rich according to the schedule, and this will take about 10 minutes. I don't know, maybe if you're a faster reader, not so much. Agenda item number 2, write a letter of gratitude. Deborah Norville, TV anchor and journalist, once said, and this is in The Path to Wealth, what I've learned is that there is a scientifically proven phenomenon that is attached to gratitude, and that if you consciously take note of what is good in your life, quantifiable benefits happen. That's a pretty cool statement coming from the secular world, isn't it?
So each day you write a letter of gratitude.
Yes, that's what you've got your agenda. Here's another one from our New Thought world as well, from the author Eric Butterworth, and he wrote in Spiritual Economics, all of the substance of the universe, all the wealth that ever was manifested itself or ever will manifest itself in this world is present right now. It's present right now. This is why Jesus said, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. He means a life that is rich and fulfilled, healthy, prosperous, loving. Only our lack of perception, lack of the grateful heart keeps us from experiencing it. We have the choice to be great or small. When we are grateful, we are great. When we become lax in the expression of gratitude, we become little people with little minds leading little inconsequential lives. Not harsh at all, is he? Wow.
Grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers. We become grasshoppers. Little people with little minds leading little inconsequential lives. Wow. I'm choosing gratitude. I think that sounds a lot more fun. So we certainly don't want to be leading little inconsequential lives, do we? That's not what we came here to be. The next 10 minutes of your morning meeting with your CSO is you're writing a letter of gratitude. It's the form of dream building with gratitude. This is the place to write about your dreams. Remember, the first thing that is ours to do that you haven't yet achieved, expressing gratitude for them as if they are already manifested in your life. As you are writing, you might be inspired to write down dreams you hadn't thought of prior to attending the CSO's meeting that day. And that's perfectly fine. Consider these divine inspirations. The biggest obstacle we have to experiencing a life that we would love to live is our own limiting belief system and doubts. Our own limiting belief systems and doubts. Someone pretty smart once said, it is done unto you as you believe. And those are words of truth. But we're often like the father of an ailing son who came to Jesus and he cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief. That's the King James Version, that interpretation. But here's the Lamsa interpretation. The father of the boy cried out, weeping, and said, I do believe, help my little faith. Sometimes when you say, well, we have faith, well, how big is your faith? Sometimes we just have a little faith. We can expand on that. It is our unbelief, our lack of faith that keeps our dreams, our good away. Let me say that again. It is our unbelief, our lack of faith that keeps our dreams, our good away. A daily gratitude practice such as this one helps us develop our faith and our belief. As part of your daily meetings, write a new letter every day. It doesn't have to be a long letter, but just write a letter every day. It's perfectly fine to repeat gratitude statements for things that are really important. I am grateful every day for my loving, wonderful husband. I'm grateful every day for my family. I'm grateful every day that the sky is blue and the sun is shining. I am grateful every day for the things that just speak to me. I'm grateful for this center and for everyone who's here every day. Every day. But each daily meeting should also launch some fresh inspiration and gratitude. See if you can't find something new every day to be grateful for. A journal is a great tool for doing this. You know, you can get them at the Dollar Tree now. It's pretty amazing. You can find journals pretty inexpensive. Item number 3, read your letter of gratitude aloud. There's something that happens when you do the exercise of writing it and then reading it aloud. Hearing yourself speak your words out loud anchors them more fully into your consciousness. When we add emotion, we are informing our subconscious we've just written are true. Reading it aloud starts the transformation to make you a magnet for your desires. Your vibration and energy elevate to equal that of the things that you desire. So we're raising our vibration level here. And we've talked many times that we must vibrate on the level of what we want in order to attract it to ourselves. We have to be up here if we want to attract what's up here. We can't stay down here. We've got to raise ourselves up. McCarthy writes, here's what I believe is happening when you speak your words out loud. As you use your thoughts, words, and emotions in harmony with each other, you put yourself in a position to attract what you've focused your attention on. You become magnetic to your good and start to see opportunities and possibilities. And agenda item number 4, visualize, see, and feel yourself living this life. It's been proven that seeing in our mind's eye brings experiences into our world. We know this spiritually. The sports world has also known this for decades. Michael Phelps, right? We all know Michael Phelps. We're all following him this year, right? Who has the most Olympic medals of anyone ever, has been visualizing since he was 7 years old. Watching what he calls his videotape of the perfect swim in his mind each night before going to sleep to mentally map out his ideal swim for the next day. Now that is commitment. That is commitment. Golfer Jack Nicklaus, boxer Muhammad Ali, and basketball star Michael Jordan have all credited their success to visualization. According to Mind Movies co-founder Natalie Ledwell, when people learn how to use visualization, they gain the ability to mentally condition themselves for unstoppable success in all kinds of life events and goals, just like Michael Phelps. And this was taken actually from an internet article. If you want the links to that, I can give you that. So take a portion of your gratitude letter and for 5 minutes, visualize it. Visualize it. Put yourself in it. See it. Feel it. Live it. Be there. So optional agenda item number 5. Record any guidance you receive during this meeting. Write it down. It doesn't have to be during the meeting. It can actually happen anytime, because once you are open, you might get guidance, from the barista at the Starbucks, or there just might be something that pops up during your day. But record it if you so choose. Throughout the meeting, you may well receive divine guidance on actions to take. And it's a good idea to write them down so you don't lose them. And then go out and do them. Like we always say here, treat and move your feet. Action is a good thing. And then with that, your meeting is adjourned.
For some reason that strikes me funny. I love it.
What?
Meeting adjourned.
Your meeting is adjourned. Yes.
Closure to it.
So this has been a lot already. Pretty heady today, right? And I always want to leave you with an experience of the divine. So let's have a mini meeting right here and right now to get us on the track, right on track. Let's start with a brief passage from The Science of Getting Rich. If you'd like to close your eyes and settle in and let these words just fill you. Gratitude alone can keep you looking toward the all and prevent you from falling into the error of thinking of the supply as limited. There is a law of gratitude, and it is absolutely necessary that you should observe the law if you are to get the results you seek. The grateful outreaching of your mind is in thankful praise to the Supreme is a liberation or expenditure of force. It cannot fail to reach that to which it is addressed, and the reaction is an instantaneous movement toward you. Draw nigh unto God, and God will draw nigh unto you. That is the statement of psychological truth. Draw nigh unto God, and God will draw nigh unto you. Let's do that right now by identifying a desire and feel gratitude for it as though you already have it. It can be related to work, financial freedom, health, peace, joy, ease, love, ideas, opportunities, relationships, and whatever else is important to you. Be grateful for qualities that you want to express toward others. Love, blessings, forgiveness, appreciation for everyone as links in your chain of good. See God in them. Be grateful for this amazing, renewed, and deep relationship you have with the divine, and grateful for the new or renewed, deepened trust in the CSO to do its part. And now I'd like you to take 30 seconds to speak out loud all at once any part of what you were just experiencing internally. You're going to hear the chime, and then 30 seconds will go by, and keep going until you hear the chime again. Okay, so are you ready? We're all going to speak out loud. World peace, love, plenty, comfort, contentment. Okay, and finally we will take 30 seconds to see ourselves living this life we love. This life in harmony with our divine nature and on purpose, and this life by design and not by default. So let's just take 30 seconds and do that. How beautiful, how wonderful, how holy, holy, holy this is. And so it is.